Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the program, The Nighttime Heat, Radio Prom FM 105.5. This program is being streaming live on our YouTube page, on our Nighttime Heat Facebook page. Just tap, maybe you want to follow the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel, Nighttime Heat, and of course, you're going to watch the show online. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Again, Prime FM Morovia 105.5. We are also streaming live. Well, tonight promises to be very, very interesting. You know, my panelists, they are always spirited, you know. They're always in that mood, you know, prepared to discuss the issues about our dear country, Liberia. Well, let me again give you the big news. Next week, we'll be going for 4 week this time around. Not just Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but we'll be coming on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So, you know, get set for the nighttime heat. We're going to create a competition in the nighttime airwaves. So, you know, just make sure you are glued to your radio. And of course, maybe you want to watch the show online. Again, we don't want you to just watch. We want you to also share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow on what's happening tonight on the Nighttime Heat. Let me try to welcome my panelists before I can acquaint you with what is coming up tonight on the Nighttime Heat. David Benedictus Rasmus Nambutawa, welcome to the program.
Why are you always welcoming me first?
David, you are the best guy to welcome first.
Because of your name.
Because of the energy there. The energy, so I'll have to. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yes.
Okay, Sabo. I'm good. Thank you for welcoming me. It's always a pleasure to be here in the midst of the great guys, Kennedy and Mr. Family.
Okay. Well, thank you, David, for coming. And let me welcome you, Edwin.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure, you know, being here with our team.
Okay, George, my namesake.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to tell the public how fat David is.
How
if
what?
you hear his heavy voice, you say, "Oh, this guy is a big man, very fat journalist."
But I'm big, my man. I'm big.
Thank you so much, Saba. We're here again to see what we can do, to share what we know with the public so that they will be the judge.
Okay.
You know,
Is Moses on? Okay, Moses will be joining us very shortly. Likewise, Prince Crippler, Prince, our new panelist, he'll also be joining us on this program tonight. He promised that he'll be on tonight on the Nighttime Heat. But let me hear from each of you just for not a minute, because we have a couple of things to cover tonight. But let me try to acquaint our listeners with what is coming up. First, we want to begin with the confirmation hearing of. I know it was not part of our talking points, but it happened today. We need to cover that the confirmation hearing of the new Minister of Sports, Destiny Cornelia Krua. I understand she went for confirmation hearing, but that was cancelled. There were huge men and women gathered on Capitol Hill today. On Capitol Hill, apparently that drew some fears, and so the lawmakers said, "Well, you have to go home." And guess what? What did they do? They suspended it for time indefinite. It means we don't know when Cornelia Krua will go for confirmation hearing. But there are three layers I would think that are linked to the whole or associated with the whole Cornelia Krua appointment and confirmation. We're going to be discussing tonight. Has that happened before? Do you know as to whether in our history, for a father and a daughter to simultaneously, the same time, serve, in a government and to attend cabinet meeting, for the two of them to be in the cabinet, don't you think that will spark some conflict of interest if there are issues in cabinet that can be discussed? We're going to discuss that, and of course, we've been doing our own due diligence, our own research. We don't know whether that had happened before in our country, Liberia. We'll look at that. And of course, the second layer, what we saw today, it appears like people are trying to peddle this issue of patronage. Some group of individuals, group of people think that they are, they are entitled, and so they should receive. We're going to look at that. And of course, the character, Cornelia Kura, especially the way she's been carrying herself in the public, she's a good role model for young people. We're going to look at that today as well. And of course, and also as part of our discussion, there was a protest today somewhere around the Ministry of Health, when some health workers, decided to gather there and got a video. We're going to play the video. Gather there and they were complaining that in several counties there's absolutely no surgical, I don't put it right, surgical equipment. This is why pregnant women are often referred to Monrovia. Can you imagine somebody taking a pregnant woman from Sano County? You name the 7 counties, taking them from all the way to rural parts of east, bringing them to Monrovia. What's going to happen? No surgical equipment. We're going to talk about that as well tonight. And of course, the government's claim of providing 70,000 jobs. That claim has come on a serious cruise today. Yesterday, we got a video. Melvin Snow, Senator, he rocked the Senate, and of course, requesting for a total breakdown of the jobs that the government said they provided. It's 70,000 jobs. We're going to look at that as well tonight. And of course, the ArcelorMittal deal has been passed. And as we speak, about 200 million has been unlocked. The president has welcomed that, although passed amidst rejection from a key member of the Senate, from Nimba County, Yan Twaya. Well, we don't know what's happening. And of course, we want to look at, again, finally, duplication of functions. We see that trying to pop up in this government, where everyone now has become a spokesperson for the government. Is it not embarrassing for the entire government when everyone is serving as spokesperson? We're going to look at that tonight. So, gentlemen, that's the discussion tonight. Again, share the show. We want you to share tonight Nighttime Heat. It promises to be very, very interesting. I'm sure the heat will develop tonight amongst the panelists. Tonight we don't have a guest, and so the panelists are going to adequately handle the discourse. It's Moses on now. Let me try to welcome Moses quickly, and then we'll get into our discussion. Moses, welcome to the program.
Yeah.
Moses, welcome. Moses, kind of unmute. Apparently, you are muted. Welcome to the program. We need to.
Okay, do you get me now?
Yes, you are loud and clear.
All right, let me say hi to you and the people in Monrovia, my colleagues, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Farmerland, Mr. Tagwe, our technical crew back there who are helping you to make this work, and the people of Monrovia. I want to say it's always a pleasure coming to talk to you, and thanks for all the good things you continue to do for our people, Soba. It's good to be back.
Thank you, Moses, for joining us. We know we expect Prince Crippler to join us tonight as well to discuss what's on our talking list tonight. Let's try to begin on this note. Like I said, gentlemen, the confirmation hearing of Cornelia Kura was suspended for time indefinite today by the Liberian Senate. There were lots of young people who converged on Capitol Hill. So if you saw the crowd, where they came from, we don't know, but they were there in support of her confirmation. Let's try to upload that video, to play the video and discuss
In
on
support
this.
of the confirmation.
In support of a confirmation. Yeah. Let's try to play the video quickly.
Chairman, the minister gotta go in. Listen, please. The minister will not stay here too long. She don't want a video. We are giving the son. She body upstairs. So she don't want to say hello to you people and thank you for coming.
Aluta.
Afterwards, we'll come back, but I just wanted to start and speak. We'll come back.
So there have been information gathered that the confirmation hearing of Minister Designate of the Ministry of Youth and Sports has been postponed to a later date, but the Minister Designate Anthony Cornelia Kurotoba is here. She's still here on the grounds of the Capitol. I'm Anthony Don, and this is the closing argument. We're live this afternoon right here from the grounds of the Capitol building of the Liberian Senate.
So, gentlemen, you listened to the report of them. The confirmation hearing today was cancelled. You heard some of the utterances being made by the young people who've gathered today in support of a confirmation. I'm sure this is not the first time that the Senate has done that before, especially when they see that the environment is not secured. They normally take such a decision. But gentlemen, let me hear from you first. Dave, what do you think about this suspension, indefinite suspension of confirmation?
If it is suspended because of the turnout of the young people I just listened to, then I'm wondering why. Because I covered the Senate, Sabbath and others. I covered the Senate for almost a year.
Mhm.
And I was covering it for an international media group. And when President Bouaka was making his appointments, and there were a lot of appointees showing up at the national legislature, Liberian Senate to be specific, for confirmation hearing. Some of them were accompanied by crowds, by groups who were supportive of their confirmation. And at no time did I witness a suspension. If that happened, maybe I'm not retentive in terms of remembering. But many of the times when they went for confirmation hearing, they were accompanied by cheering squads that even did not even disrupt the exercise of confirmation hearing. So it's a little bit strange, sounded strange to me, because a crowd turned out to cheer, colonial crowd, or to support her confirmation hearing, and that was, perhaps there's something else underneath it. But up to now, I'm wondering what must be the cause of the suspension, of the indefinite suspension of her confirmation hearing.
Okay.
Well, good for me today. I was at the Capitol building when this whole event happened. I have gone to see the vice president on something, and I witnessed this whole stuff. But prior to that, one will follow exactly what has been happening since the appointment of Madam Kra. Yeah, there have been some, attack on senators on the internet, and one person is Senator Darius Delon, because I even saw a post from him, from some group of NIMBA student associations, and making some remarks against him, because it's always believed that Delon is against the people of NIMBA, quote unquote. He one time attacked Councillor Kra, and they started from Senator Prince Johnson to now Councillor Kra, and then his daughter now. I was there when the group went there. A bunch of jubilant young people wearing, having how to call it, the in t-shirts with banners in their hand, and I thought it was a good decision for the Senate to take that decision. Because, first of all, these are two separate branches of government. Madam Cry is coming from the executive branch. She's been brought before the Senate for confirmation. And, you know, she's a friend. She's a senior colleague of mine who graduated from the law school. They graduated last year. She's Antonia at law. But there are certain things that we need to start putting in place. These theaters are not sharing grounds. Because, and one time Senator Dillon said that whenever a person is nominated and taken to the Capitol building for confirmation, they go there with cheering squad. And then the Senate is put under pressure to confirm them. And when they actually are not carrying on their work, the same people start to blame the senators. Say, oh yeah, you guys are the one that, you know, do this. So let them do their work, voice of party politics, voice of coming up with all of these different people around them, because we are all human beings. Sometimes when you see some of those guys are out there jubilant of people, it put the senators in that kind of a fear.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me go say. Now, George, you listen to your colleague. He said, proud to, and we all followed, proud to the confirmation of Kura today, prior to that hearings that was suspended. There were attacks coming from some folks from Nimba County attacks at Dallas Dillon. They see him as someone who is anti the people of Nimba. You think that could have been one of the reasons for the suspension, the indefinite suspension?
In fact, I saw a post allegedly from the Senate chat room where it is believed Senator Dillon is accused of asking the Senate to push the confirmation to another day on Facebook, you know. So, I mean, this is not necessary for me, you know, because I don't think, look, I'm not a fan of Senator Dillon, but I don't think he's that character. He just tried to do his job as a senator, all right? And as a senator, you are there to make decisions for the country, not just for your county or your constituencies where you're from. Where I differ with my colleagues is where a group of people go to Capitol building to accompany a political nominee. The Capitol building is a political theater. There is no, how to call it, nobody over there that is not a politician. Mm-hmm. And Minister Destiny Cornelia Cry is a key contender in District 13. She's a politician. She was defeated not only by how to call him, Papi Sumo. So she got strong following there. Even when she was nominated and confirmed as deputy minister that time, the crowd went, even though this crowd heavier than that, than the first one. But this time they see her progressing
but do you think it's quite necessary that when a nominee is sent to the Senate by the president for confirmation to be accompanied by a huge crowd of that nature?
I mean, I don't think the Senate also should have problem with that.
Why?
They're not entering the hall. The Senate decisions should not be influenced by a group of people that go to Capitol building. The Senate decision should be based on the Constitution.
But you listen to your colleague, you listen to Edmund, you say it's not a sharing ground. The Capitol building is not a sharing ground. I know. People shouldn't go there to beat drum and dance.
Then the Senate supposed to have prohibited that ever since.
There's no law. There's no law
but
prohibiting
that.
From the initial stage. There's no law prohibiting that. No. So what the Senate is supposed to do is the people are there beating drum and causing noise. You can ask them to cool down the noise.
No, there are laws on the book for that. A public nuisance.
It should not stop.
Public nuisance. Yeah.
No, if
it's a public nuisance.
The Capitol building.
So what?
Those things mostly. Why they didn't go to the judiciary? Why they didn't go to the executive mansion? Why they didn't go to any other ministry but to the legislature, the political theater?
Don't you think? Let me ask you.
So I will tell you why.
Edwin, before you come in, don't you think those people who are in the crowd, they are often influenced by the same nominee to say, look, I'm going for a confirmation hearing, and I expect that a group of people will follow behind me.
And this is the danger about it. He sparked something that is no law. No, there are laws on the book for that. A public nuisance. You have two separate houses within that same vicinity, right? The Senate one side, the members of the House of Representatives on one side. Now, when you start hearing cheering squad that beating drum, that dancing and shouting, they're disturbing the working of the other people who are not part of that process. And you know, many times they have tried this thing to even carry it to the court. That's why most of the time when you see political cases go to the court, the police always go to distract that stuff, because the grounds of the judiciary is a no-go political zone. They've tried many times. So always the judiciary will send for the police to come and barricade that place before people go there. But what we're doing right now in our body politics, that's not what is supposed to happen.
So the grounds of the capital is a political go zone, right?
No, it's a political go zone. But this is the first time that I think from 2010, 15, we start seeing this cheering squad. People who live here.
Now, let me ask you.
Let
me ask. But before I ask the question, whether it did happen, anybody can remember what it happened during the last administration. I'll come to Moses. Let me welcome Prince Crippler. Prince, welcome to the program, the Nighttime Heat. We are really pleased to have you as panelists on the program as well. Welcome, Prince.
Thank you, Sobo, and it's a pleasure to be here. Let me also say my greetings to the rest of the other panelists. I'm very sorry I might not be able to directly call names because I have not followed the list of the panelists so fully. Okay. But hopefully in the future, I will be able to identify individual names. But I'm excited joining the team, and I'd like to say afternoon or good evening to Liberians listening to us across the world and in Liberia. It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prince, for joining us. And we are talking about what happened today at Capitol Hill when a group of people turned up, young people jubilant, young men and young women turned up in support of Cornelia Krah. But unfortunately, they said it indefinitely. There's no time. Indefinitely suspended her confirmation the year. But prior to that, when hearing about attacks against Senator Darius Dillon, so we don't know what that may have maybe also trickled, the indefinite. We don't know that yet, but we're trying to just spin around that. Moses, let me ask you, Moses, did it happen during the did you see or experience or hear about crowds at confirmation hearing of nominees of former President Weah? Did you hear about that? Did it happen?
Well, look, let me go back into history. When I was at LBS, before I was recalled to base and became editor-in-chief, I covered the legislature. I did not see the assembly of people, the gathering of people, whenever nominees went to the Senate for confirmation. I didn't see that. I'm sure, Sobo, then you were also a reporter. I'm sure you will agree. Mr. Tagba will agree. Will also agree that we didn't see those things happen. A confirmation hearing is like a job interview. It is basically intended to rigorously look at the qualification of the nominee, and the nominee should be able to convince the people in the session whether he or she is capable of doing the job. You can have few persons going to the Senate to observe the process. When I covered the legislature, few people went to observe the process. But since the Salif administration, we administration, and now come the Bouakai administration, I have seen a large crowd. Take, for example, Fatima. When she went to the Senate, Fatima took a crowd.
Yes.
There were people there celebrating Fatima. Fatima lied to the Senate on an oath. They still confirmed her. They did not suspend Fatima's confirmation hearing. They went ahead. I know we are speculating that, the decision to suspend may have been predicated on the assumption that Darius Dillon has ill feelings towards the crowds, especially the Minister of Labor, Councillor Kopo Crowd, that could have provoked the decision to suspend. But I want to agree with what Famula said earlier, that to have a large number of people assembling, jubilating, beating drum, absolutely, that's public nuisance. And when we say public nuisance, what are we talking about? Any behavior that violates the rights of order, that interferes with the rights of order, is public nuisance. So if I'm in my office and I'm doing a piece of job and you got people out there singing all over the place, I will not be able to function. If I'm playing loud music and others are unable to sleep, that's public nuisance. So I think our people need to take a closer look at how we do things. And the Senate should not be impulsive, should not be cherry picking. When you want to take a stand, you announce it in advance that, hey, as of now, or the legislature as a whole, as of now, when we're having these important hearings, we don't want to see people coming here to celebrate.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, well, you're right. And
No,
Sabo, I'd like to come in small. I beg you. Look, as I said earlier, I covered our Senate. When the foreign minister designate at that time went for a confirmation hearing, that whole place was overcrowded. The number of persons that accompany her, they even overwhelmed the crowd that accompanied the colonial crowd. Even the guys at the defense ministry, the minister, the deputy, all of them, when army people were all there. They overcrowded the premises of the national legislature. So what you can continue, don't start it. The legislature started that. They encouraged that. If it were a popular nonsense, the assembly of a crowd on the grounds because somebody has been nominated for confirmation hearing, then the legislature is supposed to stop to it ever since. But the legislature, the Liberian Senate, to be specific, encouraged that.
Okay, let me hold you there.
Let
me hold you there.
So why now? Why come in the crowd?
Let me hold you there. Let's hear from Moses. Moses. Let's hear from Prince Crippler on this matter first, then, because we'll have the special assistant to the Minister of Justice calling relative to the debate about the 20 million. We heard that money has been placed in the arrest agenda, and how possible when the arrest agenda is just a political document. It's not possible. It should be placed in the budget. So we'll be asking him relative to that. We'll be getting his call very soon. Let's hear from Prince Crippler on this matter. Prince, what's your take?
It's laughable, especially so that this is happening on an administration that price tag herself around, capacity, knowledgeability of governance best practice. So it is laughable. But here's the point. What is happening at the legislature regarding the confirmation of public officials turning up, attending with huge crowd, is a clear demonstration of this government a lack of will to the rule of law. If you follow what happened during the State of the Nation address, the executive branch of the government does not, have any desire or intention to respect the rudiments there in the legislature. You saw that with the president himself, right? You saw that with the president himself. It is a standing protocol in the legislature in terms of dress code. You cannot address the legislature with a cap on your head, with a hat on your head. The president was asked to remove the cap from his head, and he vehemently refused. So if the head of state, the head of the executive branch of the Liberian government, where Kopo Kra and all of those appointed ministers that you talk about that are today desecrating the legislature are currently assigned if he himself can be involved in a process that violates the standing protocol of the legislature, why wouldn't any member of the executive branch choose to do that? They will choose to do that. And unfortunately, when it initially happened, Senator DeLong and the rest of those who are now trying to stand their ground failed to take the action that they should have taken from the very get-go of that entire process. And so what we get is the continuous and occurrence of that situation, because we failed to take the first action that we should have taken from the very get-go to put a stop to would-be perpetrators. So the Senate should be blamed for that. The legislature should be blamed for the executive moving over to the legislature and disrespecting the legislature, because they allow themselves to be, used by the executive branch of the government. We don't have a legislative branch of government at the moment. The executive is doing everything. What goes to the legislature comes out exactly as the executive wants it. So why would they be arguing now? I think the whole issue is the beef between the CRA and that of Senator DeLong. I want to assume, I don't have all the facts. I think that is the primary reason for which they are putting a stall on the confirmation of Cornelius. Other than that, they wouldn't do that in any instance.
So, are you saying that now? Do we accept what he said? Because if, let's assume, the CRA or the CRAs do have problem with DeLong, can DeLong alone convince his colleagues to say, look, let's put the confirmation of Cornelia on hold indefinitely? Can DeLong alone?
No, he doesn't have that authority. And I just want to correct Prince. As far as I'm concerned, as a student of law, there is no law binding the president for wearing a cap to address the legislature. And the only thing that is said that you have to be in a business attire, all right, or you can wear a traditional outfit. So you can wear a traditional outfit and put a hat on your head. There's nothing wrong with that. But back to the issue, because like I said, today I was at the Capitol building, and it happens I was in the Vice President's office. He had foreign guests, and where they were, it is the Senate wing. So you could hear the sound of the drum, the jubilation from where he was sitting. And those were international people. So in fact, some of them will even start asking, what's going on? Because to them it's cringe. Okay. When you go to the Capitol building, it's a place of sanity. Now, Senator DeLong alone does not have that authority. First of all, DeLong is not even the chairman on youth and sport. Mm-hmm. So the confirmation of foreign affairs is the chair of foreign affairs. So the confirmation hearing of a minister designate from Ministry of Youth and Sport will be chaired by the Committee on Youth and Sport.
Okay, you wanted to come in, Prince?
Yeah, so two important things to that, right? The first thing we need to understand is that the legislature, people operate on the basis of camaraderie and on the basis of, complementing the effort of each other. Today, if as a senator in the legislature, DeLong has issue with another person in another branch of government that he wants to settle, trust me, it has become a precedent in the legislature. I'm not a legislator, but you can ask somebody, you got a lot of legislative friends. There will be a point where other legislators will grant you support, because tomorrow they could want your support. They could be needing your support on a matter. So you can't already say DeLong does not have that authority. No, that's not true. The second point is he emphasized the Constitution or the laws not, requiring the president to not to wear a hat. But yes, the legislature has their standing protocol. They have their rudiments in terms of dress code, right? Let's look for the dress code of the legislature. If the dress code of the legislature did not require that, why would the protocol be requesting the president had to be removed? Why would they be doing that? There must have been somebody in the legislature who told them, I may not have all the facts, that look, the president
alluding to the fact that you don't have the facts. if there was a protocol in our house that lawmakers should not do so, or even visitors should not do so, you will see that lawmakers themselves will not be wearing their hat. It's not. I don't think we should dwell
That's
on
not
this.
even-
It's not violation. It's not what we're discussing.
Okay.
But I then want to remind you, Honorable Kripla, that just yesterday, the last 6 years, most of your colleagues and young people that were appointed in government, they went to that Capitol building with huge crowds.
Yeah.
What needs to be done right now if the Senate doesn't want it as a
So you
body, or
think
if the
it's someone
legislature
else's
doesn't want it as a
problem
body,
there,
you
You
enact
said
a law to
yesterday,
stop it.
whatever
For someone doing it,
whatever
please,
was wrong.
please, we don't
One
talk at the
minute,
same
one
time,
minute.
Mr. Kripla. We don't talk at the same
Go ahead
time.
quickly. Go
I'm
ahead quickly.
responding to you. If there's a need to enact a law to make the legislature at that particular ground a ground for people not to go there when nominees are gone there for confirmation hearing, of course we'll support it. But in as much as there is no law and it's been happening in the
It will
past,
continue.
it will
And I
continue.
just said the lawmakers to the
Yeah.
Senate will continue to.
Yeah, so it's not
Yes.
good.
So
Yeah,
let's hear
so-
from Moses. Moses wanted to come in quickly because we have to talk about the second layer to this whole confirmation. We'll shortly have an interview to be conducted with the Special Assistant to the Minister of Justice to understand this whole justice complex issue. So very shortly we'll be taking him on the line. Moses, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah, quickly, I just wanted to redirect the discussion, and I think Mr. Kennedy was able to do that excellently. The discussion here is not on dress code, it's not on how the president of the republic appear at the Capitol. Right now, we are discussing a specific situation, and then in the absence of evidence, as media people, when we're discussing issue, we should be able to have the evidence to support it. But we are speculating, Prince, and Prince, you are speculating that this could have been the effort, or it could have been the doing of Senator DeLong on the basis of camaraderie. Or, let's suspend this for time indefinite because she's one of the crowds. You don't have the facts.
Okay.
So let's
All right.
focus on what is before us.
Thank you.
Thank
But
you.
I know you lawyer got something you call expediency, right?
Okay, Prince will have to transition. Let's go to the second layer, to this whole Cornelio crowd confirmation. Now, gentlemen, let's put a picture up quickly. Let's put a picture up. The picture of Cornelio and her dad. Moses, let me begin with you on this one. Is there any time in our history for a father and a daughter to simultaneously serve on the cabinet in the same government? Let's hear from you, Moses. You can give us some education on that. Let me tell you also Google what is that nature.
And let me
Go ahead.
say this, I will be speaking as a former reporter, legislative reporter, a former editor, and someone who religiously follows, happenings politically. I have never heard about this. I didn't see this when I was at the Capitol to have two family members, not even a dad and a daughter, or a dad and a son. I never heard about it. I never covered that. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but look, somebody, you struck a very salient point earlier. You talk about political patronage, where employments in government are not predicated on merit. What matters is what party loyalty. Oh, this person is one of us, is one of us, is one of us. I'm not saying that Cornelia is not qualified. I'm not saying that her dad is not qualified. But what I see obtaining here is basically political patronage. There's no need. There are too many qualified people in our country. You do not need a daughter and a father in the same cabinet at the same time. And that is coming from someone who has, prior to the president, saying, boasting that he has over 42 years of leadership experience. The uptake is just not good.
Okay,
There are
let's
too many people in the country.
Let's hold it. I've just done this on try to ask Google whether that's what. Gentlemen, let's listen to the program, please. I just Google. I try asking whether in Liberian politics, whether we've had a daughter and a father serving simultaneously in the cabinet in the same government, on the cabinet in the same government. He said, yes, that has happened. In Liberian politics, a father and daughter have sat in the cabinet within the same government. According to reports in January 2026, President Joseph Yuma Boyaka appointed both Councillor Cooper Kura and his daughter Cornelia Kura. Okay, so gentlemen, this is the first time, according to what we just read. Let me hear from you. Let me hear from you, Dave.
For me, being the first time doesn't mean that it's wrong. I don't know what.
Do you know the implication?
No, excuse me.
No, I'm asking. No, listen. For you to say it is not wrong, it means that you should know the implications. Yeah, go ahead.
Sabo, please give me time to talk.
No, I'll give you time.
You asked me the question. I'm saying that because it didn't happen before, or it has never happened before, and it happened now, doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Okay.
I don't know whether there are laws that forbade a father and a daughter, or a father and a son, or mother and daughter serving in the government. I don't know what our laws say about that.
No, we're not talking about the government. A father and a daughter, or a father and a son serving in the cabinet.
The first thing we have to establish that Cooper Christ is a Liberian, Cornelia is a Liberian, and all of them are qualified and competent to serve in the government.
Okay, let me hold there. Let me hold there.
Serving there at the same time.
It is not wrong.
I don't say it wrong. Not because that it never happened before doesn't mean that it happened.
So we have had histories of families, serving in government. But the Tobler regime saw almost about 19 to 20 members of the Tobler family serving within the government. His brother was finance minister, other brother was president pro tempore, or different places. Like David Tagba said, there's
no, Akame. We're trying to let's be specific here.
I know you're talking about father and daughter, right?
You're saying
father and daughter.
The relation serving on the cabinet.
Like he clearly said, there's no law that forbids that. The appointing authority is the president, right? So if the president deemed necessary that Mr. Fambule has certain skill set, that we want him to run, maybe that's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Fambule Jr. has another skill set that we want him to go to the Ministry of Defense. There's no law that stops that because our law calls for equal opportunity. Yes, you can argue the fact that there are other relatives, there are other family members out there, there are other people there who are also capable, but appointment into the executive is squarely the responsibility of the president.
Okay, let's hold you there.
So there are evidence to prove. There's evidence to prove. I want to go to the Torbos. I will list the family to you. I'm not going to the ones that were in the legislature. I'm not going to A.B. Torbo. I'm not going to Frank Torbo. I'm going to Mrs. Torbo King, daughter of the late president, who served as Liberia's ambassador to how they call it, Cote d'Ivoire. You can see Tonia King, son-in-law to the president. He served as deputy immigration chief.
But
most of these people. Let me
George.
Wait,
George. It seems that you are missing the point here. We are not saying
it is.
No.
This was worse. You know what this was?
George, I know.
Ask me again.
We are not saying people of the same family can serve in the government. No,
in the cabinet.
No, we are saying on the cabinet.
Of course. Who presides over the cabinet? The president presides over the cabinet. The president appoints his daughter. The president appoints his brother as finance minister. He goes and presides over the cabinet. If we talk about expediency, that is the case where we discuss, because when we talk about law, no. When we talk about expediency, I will support expediency. For the sake of expediency, we shouldn't do that. Okay. Yeah. But when it comes to law, nothing. For me, I would rather.
Prince, let's hear from you, Mr. Kripla.
Yeah, Sobo. The first thing that we need to establish is that the argument is ministers in the cabinet from different families. We're not arguing about the current president, Joseph Newman Boyaka. We are saying he appointed two family, also of his family, father and the daughter, or father and the son in cabinet role. That's what we're arguing. Both are wrong. Whether the president appoint his relative members, in cabinet, is wrong, and appointing a father and a daughter is wrong. But yes,
What constitution under what is backing that?
No,
Yes,
what
they
makes
can.
it wrong?
What makes it wrong now?
Can we come back?
As far as the law
Can
is
you allow
concerned.
me lay my thoughts? Can you allow me lay my thought? My main point I wanted to make is that the Unity Party made argument yesterday when President Weah was in power. They argued that there were Southeasterners that were dominating the government. We're not talking about people from counties. Southeastern counties are more than 7 counties or more than 6 counties. They were arguing, and they made a promise to the Liberian people that there will be cabinet representation of every county in the government. Today, we don't have all counties represented in the cabinet. Yet we are having one family, a father and a daughter, occupying 2 cabinet positions. The United Party have already failed on the commitment that they made that there will be cabinet representation, county representation in the cabinet. They failed on that. Yet they are appointing 2 persons from one family in the cabinet. In my view, it's an insult to the counties that are not in the cabinet, because that was the promise they made. Why did President Boyka make that commitment? Because he knew that the Constitution talks about maximum feasible participation. And it is a global best practice now to consider participation in any governance arrangement. That's good governance. So for the colleagues to be arguing that, for expediency, it is important for President Boyka to do that, it beats my imagination. Yesterday, the United Party were arguing that the whole Southeastern county, by appointing various county presidents.
No, this is not United Party and CDC talk.
No, you have to give him a chance. You spoke. No, you have to give him a chance. Go ahead, Prince, go ahead.
But I didn't want to
Let me just land.
My colleagues need to understand that what was wrong yesterday should be wrong today. And the commitment they made to the Liberian people was not a commitment of doing this and of treading on the old order. That's not a commitment that they made. So
okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that, Prince. Let's go with that. Let's go with that, Prince. You can, come up with your correction now.
So he said, we said that if the appointing the 2 family members in government, when it comes to expediency, we say it's wrong, but it is not legally wrong. Also, you understand? It is legally correct. But when it comes to expediency, it's
your
wrong.
point.
That's my point.
Okay,
so
now
you are misquoting that. That's why I want to
very shortly we'll take the interview with the Special Assistant to the Minister of Justice. Now, but when it comes to conflict of interest, let's assume something happens in the cabinet, and the president said we need to vote on this. Do you think Cornelio will move from beyond her father and say, look, father, since you're supporting idea B, I will not support idea B, rather I will support idea C? Is that possible? Moses, let me hear from you. Let me hear from you, Moses. Okay. No, just I was waiting for this question.
Okay, let me say this quickly. It's a very good question. It's a very good question, Sobot. The issue of conflict of interest, where will Cornelio stand when it comes to an issue which has to do with the country? If a dad has a different position, and she said, well, I don't want to ruin the relationship with my dad, even though she doesn't report to her dad in government. But she may be conflicted. So she will be compelled to take the side of her father.
Surely.
So this is where, again, I would like to say that, look, the president should have given this a serious consideration. There are just too many qualified people in our country. I'm not saying that Cornelio is not qualified. I'm not saying that her dad is not qualified. I heard someone say, well, it happened in the past. Don't forget now, on January 22nd, 2024, when President Boyka mounted our podium, he said then, quote, this will not be business as usual. You remember that? So if he said that, then we don't want him to repeat the mistakes of the past.
Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Dave, let's hear from you. When it comes to the issue of making decisions, maybe there's an issue in the cabinet.
Your question is, first of all, it's hypothetical. So what we're doing here is assuming that Cornelia will Cornelia will support her father or not support her father. No, there are children who are principle-minded. If the father is wrong, they tell the father is wrong. If the mother is wrong, they tell the mother is wrong. So there are children who are principle-minded that would disagree.
Okay, let me hold you.
So it's not
about let me bring this back to my own family. You know, for us, we're born, and our father said to us, at every given point in time, you have the right to disagree with me or with your mother.
Yeah, sure.
And I saw that happening with my older brother, Dr. Fambula, and our late mother, Mary Brownell. When she decided to come back home, may peace be to her ashes, to stay here and work with Mr. Taylor, he disengaged with her. It took many years before the family could even bring it together.
Wow.
Cornelius is an independent woman, right? And like I said, she's a lawyer. She graduated from the law school. She has her own independent mind. Not always we agree with our parent. And secondly, the cabinet is almost about 35 to almost about, I think about close to 40 of them. So if the idea that her father is trying to push, if there were only 3 or 4 or 5 of them, I don't think Cornelia would be obliged to put in.
Okay, let's hold you there. George, let's hear from you.
You were so moved from because the first thing to know is Cornelia's father is the chairman of MDR. Cornelia is an executive of the Unity Party. They don't agree.
No. Wait, come on. I'm coming. When it comes to partnership, that's absolutely nothing but politics.
She should always agree with her father.
They should be with the MDR.
She won't be voting for Unity Party interests. She'll be voting against MDR. She'll be voting for MDR. If that's the case that you want to push. So the issue of independence in terms of judgment, Cornelia has always been independent.
Okay, let me hold you there. Prince, let's hear from you. Let's hear from you, Prince, because shortly we'll conduct our interview. Prince, let's hear from you.
So you see, we just confirmed that the decision is on political line, not in the interest of the.
Who confirmed that?
Not necessarily on the basis of. I mean, the last.
We have to erect your point.
No, please. We didn't agree with you. Speak for yourself on the show because it is your opinion. Don't say we just
confirm. What did we confirm?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
yeah, they're so different. Yeah.
No, but you see, the point is that the show have to be moderated in a way that when you are speaking, you give time for people.
Yeah, that man can come in. Please go ahead. Go ahead, quickly. We're about to take a call.
In the Liberian people way, if you want to fair my comment, then I mean this is going to be wrong, and we'll go after your own comment. But again, the point I wanted to make is that I mean, the colleague have just confirmed that the Unity Party is not governing on the basis of doing the right thing.
Which colleague confirmed that?
Best practice. I mean, when I conclude on my thoughts, if you want to disagree with me,
the man time. We have got only a minute to speak. Go ahead.
You can disagree with me, right? You can disagree with me. So, like I said, the colleague have just confirmed that the Unity Party is not governing in line with best practice. What they're doing is political accommodation because Cooper Cra, I mean, is the NDR chairperson and Colonial is secretary or assistant secretary or whatever for Unity Party. So it's just political accommodation. President Boyka is acting on the basis of political accommodation, not doing the right thing. So I can understand that the Liberian people who are listening can now understand that that's the basis for President Boyka acting. But I think this is wrong, and many Liberians will agree with us that this is wrong. President Boyka himself agreed that there is a need for maximum feasible participation in the governance space. That's why he promised every county representation in the cabinet. But unfortunately, today, they are sidestepping that and they are going back to the old order of the 1960s, the 1920s, and what have you.
Okay, thank you, Prince. So, gentlemen, we will have to transition now. The Ministry of Justice recently, I think yesterday, yes, if my memory can serve me right, broke ground for the construction of a justice complex. And at that program, we understand that the Minister of Justice indicated that the 20 million earmark has been allotted in the arrest agenda. And we all know normally arrest agenda is just arrest agenda is just
It's a
political document.
platform. Yeah.
It's a political document. It's not a budget where you allot something. So the debate is, what is the budget of the ministry? Because we are hearing about a little over $300,000. And so what is the source of this 20 million? How possible that the government will allot 20 million in an arrest agenda when agenda is just a political document? So we shortly will have the Ministry of Justice, the Minister of Justice Special Assistant on the line. I'm sure he should be on by now. Let's try by all means, gentlemen, to question it quickly. Welcome to the program, Mr. Siafa. Or Kemukai, rather. Anthony Kemukai, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Let me good evening to your panelists.
Okay. So we have panelists on the program. They may likely chip in questions. Kindly be prepared to answer them. We'll have Mr. David Benedictus Rasmus Namutaba. Mr. Edwin Famula is on the program as panelist. George Kennedy is on the program as panelist. Prince Kripla on the program as panelist, and Moses Sandy as well on the program as panelist.
Prince Robert, a freshman on the program. Anyway.
Please, man, we're talking something.
No, he's a freshman on the program.
So we want to hear from you. First of all, we want to get the background to this whole justice complex. Tell us more about it. How did the idea was conceived, and how do we get it funded?
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, not the officials, but then I accepted for this the fact that I'm a member of the committee put place by the minister to proceed with this process. This planning started when the minister took over, and he started that given that the ministry is more like considered the most moved ministry. You can have every time ministry is either on Aspen Street, on 9th Street, 14th Street. Currently we are on Mama for us to have our own payment. And so he set up a committee to oversee this process. And as part of that, time when the government was planning or arrest agenda, and this was a proposal given to the committee arrest agenda, incorporated our team headed by the director of planning to ensure that we have the complex. So the planning process was ongoing. We decided, okay, this should not only focus on the Ministry of Justice Central, but we should also include other security apparatus that is under the ministry to have also, because they are also in similar situation where they have to be paid every year. They have to be paid, for rental space. Sometimes they have to move. So they include Liberia Immigration Service, Liberia National Fire Agency, and now we are considering the Witness Protection Agency, which has just been commissioned and should be starting full operation. So when the proposal was presented, the government said, okay, this is something good that we want to see. So we make a commitment of 20 million. Send as you're aware, you know that these plans are put in place in consultation with development partners because they also come in, okay, we want to help the government. What is it you have? How can we help in with your development agenda? So the government, as part of more commitment, made a commitment in the West agenda. So, well, 20 million is the earmark and proof in it because you know the West agenda has been launched by the president sometime was 2024. So the minister said yesterday, that's one of his speech during the groundbreaking ceremony. So this is being finalized. We showed our land authorities yesterday. It's the launch of the program. I mean, the launch of the project. The first phase of the project is already ongoing now, but this was to do the first thing before we start was to do the groundbreaking. And that's what the minister said yesterday that hey, the government, as part of this commitment, has already in a message and will be making a video with 20 million analysis towards this project. So we'll also be going out partners, and he was, I think, as part of his speech, he made it clear that we call on development partners to also come in.
Now, Anthony Kemokai, the confusion here is that, how possible that the government will allot 20 million in a political document, when by right, if the government intends to construct this, whatever money you spend should be allotted in the budget, in the national budget, and not the political document. The document is just a vision.
So just as a good fit, the government already started. If you currently check in the current budget, there's some amount already there for this project. So when you say political document, that's how people see it. The political pundits will see it as a political document. But if you want everywhere around the world, even the great United States, because developed that plan called master plan, different plans. So when we did development, administration, those are things you learn. So you have a master plan. Even if you want to carry on development, you have to have a plan in place. So if the government have developed the plan, say this is how we want to go about this, make sure and then and decided that, oh, listen, in good faith, I started making commitments already. So after we see, it's a political document.
So let me ask you, is there a line in the budget that points to the construction or goes towards the construction of the justice complex? Is there a line in the budget? Because we're trying to go through it now.
Well, that's what I said. You have to go to the budget, go for the current budget that are being approved. There's a line that you see the Ministry of Justice complex.
Okay, but then, so Anthony Kemokai, but then I see a contradiction. I don't know whether we have the press statement from the Justice Ministry. The press statement from the Justice Ministry. I said the press statement. Anthony Kemokai, are you hearing me now? My name is David Tagbe. Are you hearing me now? Yeah. Okay, you hearing me. Thank God you hearing me. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, there is a statement that came from a press statement that came from the Justice Ministry, where the Ministry of Justice is providing a clarification that what the money, the $20 million that we're talking about, that is put aside for the construction of the new Justice Ministry building or whatever it is, did not come from the national budget, but it is something that is considered in the arrest agenda. Now here you are now saying that there's a line in the budget for that purpose. Then your press statement, I believe you must have seen it because you work at the Justice Ministry. Here you are saying there's a line for such a project. So isn't that a contradiction, sir? You're not contradicting your boss or your own press statement you issued that I read and others read. So what don't we have it? Maybe we will put it up.
Yes, I'm sure we got it. Go ahead quickly, Anthony Kemokai, to respond.
No, but there's no contradiction. I don't know what you call contradiction.
No, go ahead, sir. I just asked you a question.
I don't know what you call contradiction. You have people running around saying that yesterday the minister said we already have the allocation And that was not what the minister
That's
said.
right.
And that's the clarification that the minister has provided. That he said in the arrest agenda, unlike those who are running around saying that we already have the 20 million in the budget, they want to know how the funding, how you go in the budget and all of that. That's what you have. And that's what the minister was clarifying. You say, hey, listen, this minister is very clear. When he makes statement, exactly the statement, you have the video, you could go to it, I think part of that.
So,
Of the video, yeah, exactly what he said. So I say, he has said clearly, he was asking what I'm saying, yes, the government is making true to her commitment for which he has started. And so I don't see the equal contradiction.
Okay, so let's come in quickly. Let Moses come in. Moses can come in.
Yeah, I just want the assistant minister to clarify this for us.
No, he's a SA, he's a special assistant.
Oh, okay, the special assistant. I wonder the special assistant to the minister to clarify or to provide these basic information for us. First, as a special assistant to the minister, does he know the ministry budgetary allocation for 2026? And then he did talk about money being allocated for the construction of the ministerial complex or whatever the justice complex. Does he know how much has been allocated for that?
Yeah, 20 million.
So, but actually, no, listen.
Yeah, he listened to you. He heard you. He heard you.
Yeah, he said, the debate here is about the $20 million, but I heard the special assistant say some money has already been allocated in the budget for that. How much is that money? And I want him to tell us whether he knows the budgetary allocation for the Ministry of Justice in the national budget.
So you heard him, Anthony Kemoka, you heard him?
Well, I'm not the, if I go to where he asked me how much of the document. I mean, what I clearly want to indicate was just to clarify what people have said regarding what's already allocated. That's the point I'm trying to clarify. All the information. The budget is an open document. You could go and do your own reading. And currently, what is there? What I'm just trying to say, what I said, and I still maintain what I said, that at no time did the minister say that 20 million in the budget, current budget, or rather that the government commitment good faith has already earmarked 20 million placed in the arrest agenda, which is the plan, the developmental plan of the government for the construction of the ministerial complex that is going to host immigration, fire service, justice enforcement.
Okay, yes. Is it a question?
No, I just want to buttress.
Okay. Since you don't have a question, you want to buttress people here. Let's go. Who got question?
Yeah.
But I'm
Moses, because I'm read a document.
Who has a question for answering Kemoka?
Really, Sober, I do not have any question for the special assistant, but I'm being honest with you, I'm a little bit disappointed.
All right, please, when he leaves, Moses, when he leaves, we'll do our own thing.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Special Assistant, we want to thank you for
Saba,
your
I got
time.
2 questions, Saba.
Okay, all right. So one of our panelists has a question. Pose a question quickly.
Yeah, 2 questions. My brother Siafa, I mean, that's I got 2 questions, and basically, I'm looking at the arrest agenda for inclusive development here now. Can you tell us which page of this document the allocation is made? Because when you suggest, as a planner, that's my background. That's what I studied. That's what I did, and I served in a government agency as the planning director before coming here. Right? It is not wrong for the plan to allocate projects and budget or propose figures, but then we have to see it in the plan. I'm reading through the arrest agenda for inclusive development. Can you tell me which page we have the lay down of activities with cost. That's one. The second question is that how long is this project, is expected to be concluded? 2 years, 3 years, 1 year?
Okay, so let's allow him to answer the questions and then he goes. Anthony Kemokai?
Thank you, Mr. Kubla. Very good friend. I really, this is a very big project, and that will be left with the contractors to say, especially when the president said we have a building that is going to last for the next 100 years. So it means that people have to take that, especially where you have the place where the land is sitting. Okay, so I cannot say it's going to be for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but at most I can say that this project, and it has already kickstarted. Now, the arrest agenda is a very big document. Can't tell you exactly which piece is on, especially we as law, we have to be precise or we give information. I can tell you it's on page 10, it's on that the amount is mentioned for the is mentioned in the arrest agenda, something that however, because that the plan before your place in the document, I know that we have that amount. It was where the government.
Okay. All right. So
Sobo, can I start with a comment based on?
No, we're coming after he has left. Anthony and Lord Safa Kemokai, we really want to thank you for your time. We really appreciate your time on the program.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Well, I just need to provide clarity that you come to really think that we should be satisfied with my stuff.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much.
What the minister said, and that's what I want to say.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think before we can do our takeaway, I want us to listen. Do we have that tape on the Minister of Finance? Because he attended our program and I think he made some revelation as well. Let's try to get that tape and then we can do our own takeaway from all what we've heard from Kemokai and what we're also going to hear from the Minister of Finance. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Can you share the show? We are streaming live on our Facebook page and also streaming live on our YouTube channel. Just tap Nighttime Heat and of course go to watch the show. We are also streaming live on Prom FM Monrovia 105.5. Let's try to listen to watch the tape of the Minister of Finance.
As it proves that the
finance
is being actualized. Our development agenda is the arrest agenda for inclusive development, which the president launched in Buchanan last year, January 15. In that agenda, the plans and the visions for most of all the sectors are encapsulated. And when we were crafting the agenda, under the guidance of the president, there was consultation across the 15 counties and with sectors. And what was clear from the justice and security sector was that we needed to change the situation where most of the entities like Liberia Immigration Service, Liberia National Police, Fire Service, the Drug Enforcement Agency, and Justice Central itself, almost all of them rather, were all, to put it lightly, were all displaced. And they said they wanted to be in place. And so the AAID has this as one of our targets for delivery. It's part of the president's and the country's development plan. So we are moving from plan to execution. the Justice Minister and myself, we are like, we coordinate almost everything. There are some documents that here I must sign. And so Justice and Finance are very close. So we attend many meetings. One time, he invited me to a meeting, serious meeting about government matters. And I drove to 16th Street, trying to climb the stairs, and I was told that Justice is not here. I had to come back, Mama Point. And then we laugh, we say, your ministry is the most moved ministry. So we have to end this thing here. From Ashmore Street, Nan Street. Then sometimes I lost count as to where Justice is. But now it's not only Justice Central, but a Justice Complex. Justice Complex. It's going to add to the scenic and aesthetics of this area. You know, there's some things we need to be proud of as Liberians. This Capitol Hill is very beautiful. Go to other West African countries, other countries, you appreciate that we have a beautiful Capitol Hill. And this will add up to it. But it's not just about beauty. The Deputy Minister talked about the rental expense that each of the entities that will be housed here are incurring annually. And it's humongous sums of money that the government is just putting out there. Now this money will now be saved. And government, the money saved, the government can use the money to address other priorities in health, in education, in roads, in many things that address the bread and butter issue. So the bread and butter question is a question that is being addressed in a multifaceted way. Every entity of government is doing its part. Last year, December, the president launched the Excel project, where we have mobilized some funding from the World Bank and the Global Partnership for Education, 88 million.
Okay, so gentlemen, we'll play the entire.
I like the bread and butter issue.
Yes, I like the bread and butter issue. We can play the entire. Yeah, let's hear from you, David.
Yeah, so
your takeaway
my takeaway, and you know, initially I disagree with the assistant minister, right?
The special assistant.
A special assistant to the Minister of Justice. He said there's a line in the budget for that part. Did he say that, right? You all heard.
Yes, he did.
And the press statement here is contrary to what he said. The press statement said, let me read it. The Minister of Justice has dismissed the public reports suggesting that the government of Liberia has allocated US $20 million in the current national budget for the construction of a proposed justice complex. In a clarification issued to the public, the ministry stated that no such amount has been approved or captured in the national budget.
He didn't say that.
You hear that?
He didn't say that.
Well, this is the minute.
No, that's
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Listen to the SAF. We listen to the special assistant. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah.
Dave, go ahead.
So we listen to the special assistant, and that's the press statement. The special assistant is saying that there's a line in the budget for the purpose of this complex, the justice complex, the justice ministry complex. Now, the same justice minister issued a press statement and said there's how to call it, the 20 million is not covered by the budget. It's not covered by the budget.
Moses, let's hear from you.
Yeah, it's not covered by the budget.
Moses, that guy,
it's not covered by the budget. Then how can you say that there's a line in the budget for the budget?
You spoke on Moses, let's get your takeaway. I mean, yes, your takeaway.
Guys, my head, I've been buried. I buried my head trying to figure out the data And this is the disappointment that I have with the special assistant who came to speak on behalf of the Minister of Justice. If you come here to defend something, then you need to have the numbers at the tip of your finger. Rule of law, 2026 national budget, the Liberian government allocated it's nearly 152 million US dollars. The Ministry of Justice, the 2026 budget is over $42 million. So the special assistant was unable to tell us because he clearly stated that the government has already allocated money for that. So where is the money?
He said there's a line.
He said there's a line. Where is this money? And that information is lacking.
Somewhat is issue being recorded, right?
How do you defend something when you don't have the number?
Online. It's just online.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking for accuracy.
So I think the assistant minister, the special assistant actually didn't help the Minister of Justice.
Okay, let's go there. Prince, let's get your takeaway. Then we'll come to the two of you.
Yeah, so Saba, to be honest, I know Siafa is a good friend. I know him to be a professional and well-schooled young man. He has been asked to do damage control, which is being executed by politicians. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the fights, and he was not able to do, enough of damage control for the Ministry of Justice and the government. If you listen to Siafa very clearly, it's simple to tell us clearly which part of the arrest agenda that you have the justice project being allocated. For you to suggest that it's in the arrest agenda, meaning that they costed all of the activities in the arrest agenda as a planner, meaning that the activities in the arrest agenda is being costed. And the costing of a plan will not be more than 5% of the entire plan. Even if the plan was 500 pages, you just find about 3 to 4 to 5 pages that the costing of the plans will be covered. He should be in a position to know clearly which page we can find that. I am looking in the arrest agenda for inclusive development. I'm not seeing anything there about a justice project and a $20 million. The second point is that if you look in the national budget, they allocated some money for the justice project. And in 2026, they allocated $350,000. The reason why I'm asking clearly how long is this project going to take to be completed is that they allocated money for 3 years running, the forecast 2027 and 2028. 2027, they have 160,000. And 2028, they have 127,000 allocated for this project, meaning less than 500,000 has been projected in the national budget for a $20 million project. The question is this project going to be concluded in the 6 years of the administration? If it is not concluded in the 6 years of the administration, when do they expect it to be concluded? Because the budget there is less than $1 million.
Okay.
So
all right. That's what you
So
okay,
he has not done sufficient, for to spill the public relations damages that have been caused.
Even the major self-function, you see the spokesperson, I get a special assistant count.
Oh, let's go with that, please.
In fact, Saba,
And I hope you give
1 minute. 1 minute. You spoke on.
I hope you give
to
me.
spill something for you. To
Okay,
get.
let him land. Yeah, Prince, go ahead.
The important point here is that every ministry and agency have a planning director. Before coming to the US, I was the director for planning for the National Water and Sanitation Commission. Why isn't the director of planning of the Ministry of Justice coming up to say something about this? There could be some disagreement in the ministry with the political class because the director of planning is a civil servant who, if things are being spilled unprofessionally, will not want to engage it. That's why the political people will have to come now to provide the defense.
Okay,
If the director
thank you.
of planning
Okay,
will provide
thank
the
you.
defense,
Thank you. Yes,
it will be
Edwin.
I just want to say the caveat. I hope you give me time to explain
Yes,
this
go
thing,
ahead, go
because
ahead.
I've been following it. Now, if we all can go back to the tip, because I even followed the groundbreaking ceremony. The guy who was the project manager, he spoke at that project. The journalist asked him some questions,
At the
and he
groundbreaking.
said, yes. He said the project will be done by phases. The first phase that they're going to start is the construction of the fence. Then the guy asked him, what are you guys going to start it? He said, after this phase, then we'll go to another phase. So let me say this. What Anthony Siafa said, he didn't contradict nothing. The reason why this whole issue of the $20 million came, because senators have now started to ask the questions. And you see, people need to follow the historicity of these events before they come up to speak to you, because sometimes you want to bring sentiment into it. Senator Snow and Senator McGill raised the issue that the budget was just before us. There is nowhere in the budget where $20 million was placed for this project. How come you're breaking ground for this project? So it was anticipated on that the Ministry of Justice has to release that press statement and say, look, there is no $20 million in the budget for this project for this year. However, under the rule of law component of the arrest agenda, we allocated funding to build a justice complex. Somebody say, oh, how will you put money into a developmental agenda? Then how do you think they were able to come off with the total amount of what is going to cost for the implementation of the arrest agenda in the tune of $8 billion? If you have to be able to structure it across sector by sector. So under the component that has to do with rule of law, the idea of building a justice hub is there. It's formed there, and there are budget there are budget allocated into it within the arrest agenda. So it is based on this that the government say, okay, let's kickstart this project. If we're going to kickstart with just breaking ground for it and then constructing the fence, and then we start looking for other help from other partners to come help. Now, take for example, at the opening of the Supreme Court, what was that? I think it was in March. The Chief Justice presented a plan for the building of a new Supreme Court to the President. The President looked at it. The President said, okay, we'll look into it. But however, we need to talk to our developmental partners. The Chief Justice went to the Chinese ambassador and made a request. So all of these different things can work out. So government going to break down or break ground for a project. It doesn't mean that government had the money already in the budget this year to go and start and start building a $20 million project. That's where we all getting it wrong.
Okay,
and we need to follow this whole process.
I think we'll give you a sufficient time, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you can protest. Let's hear from you.
The first thing, the government started allocating funding for the project since 2024.
Okay.
2024, 2025, coming closer, right? So when the attorney said that fundings were allocated or are being allocated in the budget for this project, he went on to say, and that's one thing about us really listening to the poor well, he went on to say that they're talking with development partners to support this project under the rule of law component. And I don't see anything to call contradiction. Maybe he wasn't clear for other people to understand.
Why you say other people? Say David.
No. I can't point you all like that. You know, so I'm not going to say everybody agree. I'm not going to say that here. So the truth is, it is always better. Sometimes we accept, because he issued the addendum that he's not the spokesperson.
Yeah.
He wanted King to clarify that figure that no 20 million in the budget, as people are insinuating, no 20 million. And that was a figure that they were clarifying in that press statement. That press statement didn't go to say as well as they got money in the budget to kickstart this project, or they never had money. They only spoke to the 20 million, which is true. So let's try to take it and provide the fight to the people that yes, it is true. We can give you the budget code is here. You can go to 023842. You can go there to the budget. You will see there. You will see the figure. Even though it's not much, it's around the first one, 366,000, 250,000. You will see additional maybe 1-something thousand. It takes more from the government, and we're talking about $20 million. and the Minister of Finance ended it by, in fact, saying that they will talk with development partners and will go to their partners to support this project. Definitely, rents being paid by these entities will be used now as revenue to support development programs. That's it.
Okay, so you're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Again, share the show. We want to share the show tonight. We are having interesting discussions. You want to watch the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel. And of course, we are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. Yes.
I just wanted to say something quickly. First, let me acknowledge the excellent analysis and the clarifications coming from Mr. Kennedy and my brother family. But I strongly believe.
But before you come,
go ahead. What I want to say is that if someone chooses to go public to speak to an issue, that person should come prepared.
I agree.
If he came to dispute the fact that, hey, we have now invested $20 million, this information is incorrect, he should have been able to provide what is correct. Tell us how much has been allocated under the rule of law for this project. And just from hearing from Edwin and Mr. Kennedy, we all will agree that one of the greatest challenges we have in our countries is the dependency syndrome. I mean, every time you listen to our people, when every little thing they do, we ask international partners, we ask international partners. When are you going to initiate projects and fund this project in its totality without looking out to the Japanese, without looking out to the Chinese, without looking out to the Americans? What will you do there? You raise taxes in our country. How are you managing the little you earn? Let me localize it. Everyone of us here work here. So if I would always come to Mr. Kennedy, that look, my man, the kids don't have food. The kids don't have shoes. Oh, my man, I need help with my rent. Where is my independence? Let me stop there, man.
So, gentlemen,
you're right.
The debate regarding this project was triggered by concerns from a few senators, mainly Senator McGill. Let me read what McGill. Let me read his concern, so that we can talk about whether he has legitimate concerns or whether he's speaking because he's a politician and you just want to politicize things. So let's try to read what he spoke about. Mount Gibby County Senator Nathaniel F. McGill has raised serious concerns over the reported US $20 million funding for the construction of the Ministry of Justice complex, calling for full transparency and accountability in the execution of the project. In a statement posted Thursday on his official Facebook page, Senator McGill acknowledged witnessing the groundbreaking ceremony led by President Joseph Yuma Boyka while describing the initiative as important. He stressed that it is even more critical for the public to know who is financing the project and under what terms. The man gave Senator questioned whether the project is being funded directly by the government of Liberia, and if so, demanded clarity on when the US $20 million was approved, when it was approved, as well as details regarding the contractor selection process. He also raised concerns about the absence of publicly disclosed structural designs, asking whether the executive branch proceeded with the groundbreaking before the approval of the project budget and design. Senator McGill further queried whether the project is being implemented through 100% grant to donor funding, which could not require legislative approval. He explained that his concerns are informed by past controversial projects, including the procurement of 235 yellow machines and the US $10 million FOIA project both of which he said are questionable financing sources and bypassed legislative oversight. Now, gentlemen, let me ask, and let me begin with you, Crippler, on this one. Normally, I can always take you last. Do you think Senator McGill has legitimate concerns? Because he said his concerns are rooted in, what happened with the projects, including the FOIA, the yellow machine. No, legislative processes were carried out. The issue of funding, we didn't know the funding source, and all of that. Do you think McGill has legitimate concerns?
Yes, Sobo. Senator McGill does have a very legitimate and valid concern. Had he not raised his concern, we will not be having this kind of very healthy conversation around this process. In my view, if you look in the budget, the lines that I am looking at, the way it is being.
Internet. Yes, you are. Yes.
On
we're not getting you. Okay. Go ahead.
Internet giving.
Oh.
Okay. In the budget, one thing that's just a kind of project for the Ministry of Justice, and would not give it the kind of attention that is getting now. But because the allocation was made and later on it came up with $20 million that generate public concern. So we need, Senator McGill is right for raising this concern, and the government must answer to this concern. $20 million project, there must be a tender, right? Must be a tender for a project where those processes follow through the PPCC procedure. And if those processes are followed, what happened to the outstanding of resources that we're talking about, over $19 million? Where do we get the $19 million from? How do we intend to fund the $19 million? Or do we just want to do a fence, as one of our panelists said, trying to window dress the process by indicating that that's the construction of the fence that they're going to start with. But the budget does not say construction of fence. It does not say that. If you look in the national budget, all of the allocations made to the renovation of the executive mansion, they were able to say renovation of the executive mansion specific component. But this allocation in the budget does not say what aspect of the project that is going to be concluded. It does not say that. So the government must answer to that. They must answer to that.
Okay, Moses, let's hear from you. Whether the senator has legitimate concerns, please, man. We gotta be serious here. We gotta stop that. Moses, let's hear from you.
All right, guys. Look, what I would like to say is that I think Senator McGill has a legitimate concern. And I'm sure anyone who believes in the principle of good governance will agree that the concern raised by the senator is legitimate. And now we have, what I see obtaining is becoming a pattern. The LOFA project, which is currently taking place in FOIA, similar concern was raised. No one on this show yet can tell us whether the legislature was in the know, whether there was a bidding process. All we heard about, yes, the Liberian government owns this project, and this is the cost of the project. No public procurement process. Now we're hearing about a $20 million project. All of these things need to have what? Legislative backing. So the senator is absolutely right. We need to know, is the public's money. So if the money is being spent on anything, then the government is under obligation to go through what? The legal processes. Thank you.
Okay. Edwin?
Yeah, so let me say this. It's in twofold. The senator is right. He has a legitimate concern as a senator. And like I said earlier, that's what even triggered this whole issue about the press statement coming to clarify here and there. Now,
and let me state some of the concerns that the senator has. although I read, but I was going to pick up a few points. The senator is asking, when was this 20 million
Approved, yes.
if it was approved? He's also concerned about the contractor selection process.
So that's where I have issues with that. Legally,
He's also asking as to whether the project will be implemented through 100% grant or donor funding.
of course. Yeah. So let me go back to my brother Prince Kapla, right? Kripla. Yeah. The videos are there. You can go to the groundbreaking ceremony. The videos is there. You listen to the journalist interview, the project manager, where he talks about it going to start with the fence. So that one, there's no argument between him and myself to say, well, I was trying to win the dress. Now, the senator is concerned for reasons that I think legally is right. First of all, he's trying to prevent out budget spending. Because if you come up to say we're going to be spending $20 million, if I justify it, so the very first thing that come to mind was this $20 million approved in the national budget because the budget is low. The government cannot go outside the budget to spend because, it's a whole different process by itself. And that's what even British gave the whole idea of coming back to say, no, we are not saying that we're going to spend $20 million this time, but it's a different phases or so. Now, on the issue of the procurement process, that's the executive function. That it has nothing to do with the senator to know what the design is or who the contractors are. No, it is far below his function. His function is, look, if it was not budgeted for, if you take money from the government covers and you use it, that would be considered outside budget spending, which is illegal. So I think he raised some genuine concern from the start, but now that his questions has been answered by the Ministry of Justice, I think we should just move forward.
Okay, George, let's hear from you.
Yes, I also agree with Edwin and everyone here who are raising the concerns about what are the senator has legitimate concerns. He does. Except that one of them there is the one that he voted for about the yellow machine, the 22 million in the 2024 budget. He shouldn't disclaim it. If he voted against it and he lose a vote, other people voted in favor of it. It was in the budget. He shouldn't disclaim it. Accept it because at the legislature, it's numbers. So if you bring it back, you say, "Oh, the yellow machine issue," it means that he's being a little bit, he's not being fair to the people, to the Liberian people. But on this issue about this 20 million projected project, and, he has a right to eyes to know how it's going this and that. Likewise, on the LOFA issue, he has a right to eyes to know what is what, where it is, where are we getting the money from. He has a right to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so gentlemen, we'll have to transition.
I have not spoken on that.
Oh, you have not spoken on that.
No, I have not spoken on that. I have not spoken on that. I think, I'd like to pat the party government back. The fact that Natana Mangede now realizing that the issue of accountability and transparency,
then Prince Kwepla will have to respond to you. It's possible.
I don't care about.
You're going to say
No.
And Natana Mangede and the rest of them in the last administration, that Prince Kwepla will have to react.
Let me take my position. I said the Unity Party government is doing extremely well. Now Liberia is on the right trajectory because the Natana Mangede now are joining the advocacy for transparency and accountability that they couldn't do 6 years ago. Then Liberia is getting on the best path. I must commend the government because yesterday Natana Mangede, they knew that the issue of transparency and accountability are part of democracy. But yesterday, 6 years ago, they couldn't have done that. They couldn't criticize, leading to even being sanctioned by the United States of America because they couldn't speak against these things. Had they spoken yesterday against corruption and lies and deception, I don't think President Weah would have even been voted out of power.
Have you been
Nobody is definiting me. I'm being realistic. I've been in the country for a long time.
Did you ever know
6 years? 6 years.
Nobody saw the budget for the 14 months.
1 minute, you spoke about Prince people. Prince people want to come.
What? I mean,
They didn't know about Prince People.
I've not done that. As far as I'm concerned, wait now, stop. Prince People is a freshman on the show. You can't intimidate me. You can't intimidate me, friend. He's a freshman here. Yeah? He's just coming. Your journey just come. He's a freshman. What I'm saying is that, Saba, so
Benedict
You finish?
okay, go ahead. Call your Prince Global.
You know, Saba. It's laughable when my friend Tagwe referenced the fact that Senator Magay is speaking about transparency and accountability to consider that as a gain being made by the Unity Party administration. I mean, it's quite laughable. Senator Magay have always spoken about transparency and accountability. Not only that he spoke on that,
but when it says yes,
the records are there. The MCC
Please, the man is speaking. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. I gave you a length of time you spoke. The man is speaking.
Yeah, you spoke lengthily.
Go ahead, Prince.
You want to paint a picture that the CDC administration did not believe in transparency and accountability. But meanwhile, 12 years the Unity Party ran the country before CDC took over in 2017. Corruption was at a zenith. Corruption was at a zenith when the CDC took over. They gave the LACC prosecutorial power. They empowered the LACC. The CDC administration, Nathaniel Magay, that you speak about, was the Minister of State. He worked hard to empower the LACC. Besides that, the MCC scorecard that you're boasting of today, the MCC compact, under the administration of President Weah and Nathaniel Magay, we passed the corruption indicators. The government passed the corruption indicators. So where are you getting your grading from to say the CDC administration did not do anything about corruption, transparency, and accountability?
So that
propaganda.
Okay, talk about Nathaniel Magay.
No. No, you're not asked to speak.
This is not
You're not asked to speak. No, listen.
When there's an allegation, we have to clarify.
That's Senator Magay doing his time Minister of State.
No, I'm controlling this whole thing here. You're not asked to speak.
So you allow the CDC man to say what he wants to say.
I didn't conclude.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Conclusively conclude.
That will come for you.
My conclusion here is that what you spilled, the Unity Party was just propaganda that have no substantiated facts. If there were substantiated facts, the Unity Party is in power now. You are running the country. You've been running the country for 2 years, going to 3 years. Naming one of the CDC officials that have been found guilty. Mr. Magay was Minister of State. Go and prosecute him for corruption if you claim he's corrupt. You can't be claiming the man is corrupt on your lips, and you are in charge of the country. You have all the resources to your disposal to not prosecute corrupt people. You have never indicted Minister Magay.
Okay.
Bro, that needs to be.
So you spoke your mind.
Thank you. Yes, I can't leave anything.
You will show me what peanut butter is.
1 minute. George.
So
Edwin, please. Listen, gentlemen. Prince has spoken. Edwin, come in.
So we actually measuring apples and apples, not apples and oranges. We're talking about a building project, which is a justice hub. That's why we hear myself ask a question here. Did the Liberian people know how much it cost to build a 40 military hospital? So that's where David Tagwe's issues came from. Now that we have a legislator in the in the Senate that can caution the government and say, look, we need accountability. It means that the government is moving forward. He talks about issue of why haven't we not prosecuted any CDC official or so. Then he has to know that our governance system is working, because unlike before, it could have just been grabbed and thrown behind bars. This is a process where you have 3 different branches of government. The executive can bring a case against you. You have to go to the judiciary and exonerate yourself.
Okay.
It's a whole process by itself.
Thank you. We'll have to
And just for him to be aware that the Magil is calling the LACC.
Okay, we'll have to transition.
LACC.
We have to transition.
Yeah, just give it 30 seconds. So, I just want to say something quickly.
So you guys have peaceful conversation,
Yeah,
right?
Mr. Carplay, let me just complete my thoughts, please. So what I want to say here is this. I listened to my brother David Tagbe, and what I pick up is that Mr. Tagbe is being very dismissive. Yeah, David is being very dismissive. He's telling us that Senator McGill lacks the moral standing to even raise concern about anything that has to do with transparency, because he did not do such in the past. And that's what we talk about moral equivalence. He's insinuating that for the fact that it happened years ago and Maggie didn't talk about it, right now he's unqualified to speak about that. He's also insinuating that 2 wrongs make 1 right. I think what the senator is saying is that, look, let's forget about everything that happened years ago. There is a government that came to the leadership of this country on the basis of wanting to do the right thing at all times. That is what Maggie is saying. So if you came as the rescuer, you cannot go back to what happened years ago.
I don't know why I'm not getting his comment.
But I think you're misconstruing me, Moses.
No, I'm not.
I did not say no, Moses. I did not say no. What I'm saying, Moses, listen to me. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that Nathan Mange doesn't have the moral rectitude to speak on corruption. What I'm saying that at least the space is there now. It's working. The system is working. That everybody who did not talk about transparency yesterday, not talk about transparency.
It was a system not working.
You are working with it. Yeah, people talking.
President, we are crying the loudest. Who put them behind bars?
All right. So what I was saying.
Moses,
what I was saying quickly, Mr. What I was saying is that David, after the show, you go back.
I don't hear Moses when he's speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I think now the guys are hearing me. Okay, so what I'm saying,
check your mouth.
So what I was saying here is that David, if you go back and watch the replay of this video, you will agree with me that here now it is good that Senator McGee can muster the courage to speak. He didn't do that in the past.
That's what I'm saying.
So you are basically saying that, look, who is McGee to talk about this? He should have done this before. He did not. And you are implying that for the fact that he didn't speak in the past, it means that whatever that is happening now, it is okay. And I beg to differ with you.
No, he should speak.
Right.
I agree with him. That's all.
Gentlemen, yes, go ahead quickly, Prince.
Every time everybody speak, I actually really hear them, but when Moses is speaking, I don't hear what he's saying.
The 2 of you in the diaspora, y'all gotta connect your system.
It's slow giving it a hard time.
Yeah, it's slow giving it a hard time. So gentlemen, we have to transition. What is the tape? We have a tape on a protest that took place today. Let's try to get a tape right before the building of the Ministry of Health. Let's try to listen to those guys. Simply, you should have. Let's try to listen to them quickly so that we can discuss about that protest. It took place today. Yeah, right here. It took place today, right before.
Today Association Leadership, January 19, 2024. We have started this discussion since 2024. We have a policy that was left on the desk by the former President Weah administration. That policy is so unique. But I see many of our colleagues, all of us spoke the same language yesterday. We sang the same song. When it comes to honor compensation today, they are neglecting that policy. So the journey to get all here, they have been a very long and rocky journey. We are also here to see the people. They are the legitimate owner of the resources that the government use to pay people.
So you think how long this movement will go for, this protest will go for?
The reason we also here, we want to let the public know that we have been out of facility since January 15, 2026. But people forcing the Ministry of Health are making it to look like a secret. They are making it to look like a political game. They keep covering up.
So you have not been working?
We have not been working since the 15th. 7 counties now, 7 counties have been deprived of our surgical services because of our absence. All nurse and started in Greenpool, surgery now going on in Greenpool. Local county, local have 4 facilities. Puya Boima, Pulang, or the hospital in Zozo and Telewidow Hospital. No surgery been performed in Lopa. Sano County, no surgery been performed. River G, no surgery. River C, no surgery. Patients have been referred from pregnant women, not only patients, but pregnant women who need CCV session, emergency CCV session. They have been referred from Sano or Amonente to JFK. Go to JFK.
Well, gentlemen, very, very, very troubling. And I think this just led to what we're saying last during our last edition of the program, when we said we need to begin investing our national resources to areas that will benefit the vast majority of the people. Then somebody buying 15 vehicles for staff, and this is just a support to what we're saying during the last discussion. But let me hear from you, Moses, your take on that, and then Dave and George.
Well, I think, Soba, I agree with you. One of the foremost challenges we have in the public sector is mixed priorities. We do not know what our needs and wants are. When we speak of human needs, we're talking about the basic necessities that you just cannot live without: health, shelter, food, clothing, and the list goes on. As a responsible government, you heard the gentleman. He said, can you imagine women needing cesarean section in labor have to be transported to JFK from Grand Crew? It tells you how risky the situation is. It tells you how serious this problem is. And in the wake of that, you have a sitting vice president who opted. Somebody will say, well, it's in the man's budget. Yes, it is true. It is in his budget. He purchased 15 vehicles for his staff. But the people in Grand G there, they have no means of what? Surgery. In Grand Crew, absolutely not. The government spent $1.4 million 2025 to buy a vehicle for the president and the vice president. The basic things, we pay little or no attention to them. Let me localize it for you. What makes you a responsible dad? If your kids don't have food at home, but you're going to public places and dishing out money to people, you come home, your kids say, Dad, we are hungry. And you tell them they like too much food, that you walk away. Does that make you a good dad? We have to learn to prioritize. That's one of our biggest challenges in the public sector. You spend over $6 million in 4 years when you have no theater in Grand in Grand Crew for surgery. Does that add up? The equation is not adding up. Let me start that one, you know.
So Dave, let's follow
I think the vice president be unfairly drawn into, the issue about the first thing. Every story has two sides. We haven't heard from the authorities of the Ministry of Health as far as the protest is concerned. We heard the protesters, raising their concern. If what they say is something to go by, although I haven't heard any reaction or clarification or any statement, official statement from the authorities at the Ministry of Health regarding the concerns raised by the protesters. But if what the protesters are saying is something to go by, that hospitals or health centers across the country, they don't have equipment for surgery, and that pregnant women are brought to Monrovia from all the way Grand Judo or signed to JFK. If what they're saying, if the claims they're making are something to go by, there's a disgrace on the part of the government. There is unfortunate, there's embarrassing. That would mean the government does not know its priorities. Because if the government does know its priorities, then it would make sure that hospitals that are saving lives should be prioritized, should be on the list of its priorities. So if what the guys are saying, the protesters are saying, I guess that the protesters are not only from Monrovia, I guess they're from the various counties, they're working in the health sector in the different counties. So if what they say is something, there's a disgrace on the part, and the government disappointed us as Liberians.
Okay.
Well, so, I would try to follow exactly what he said on the part of trying to draw people into this thing. I went to the Capitol building today, like I said, I didn't see 15 cars. I think I saw about 4 or 5 of those cars parked there, already marked for.
There's video to that the
video. Did you cut all the video? Did you cut all the video?
Listen. If you had a meeting, Chief, private meeting, you want to go to the vice president. But bring your meeting in here.
I saw
videos. There are videos to that aspect.
Yeah, but
there's number of vehicles.
But was it 15? Did you check them?
But you didn't listen to the commentator?
The commentator
about 15 vehicles.
I saw less than 4
because all that reason why you went to the Capitol building to bring the vice president. When you come and do PR here for the mayor to say no, it's not true. The mayor about.
Let me talk now. Let's be realistic here. People have the right to protest. But again, it should be in a peaceful manner, like we always say, once they have issues. But I've been to the Southeast. There's a referral hospital in Maryland. I remember doing the campaign when I think the vice president went there and made some commitment. And then he came back, I think, and even bought, CT scan or something and sent it up there. There's a referral hospital that was built in Tapeta. So it's not possible for somebody to be sick in Grand Jude when you have the referral hospital in Tapeta and you take them to Jeff.
So are you saying that they have workers who come and manufacture storage?
Please give me a chance to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Please give me a chance to speak.
I'm just asking a question.
There are challenges. We all know that. The healthcare sector is even going to, in fact, is going to start benefiting from some grant from the United States government. Now, when it comes to the issue of supporting this sector, I 100% agree with you that these sectors are some way, somehow underfunded, because we need to put more money into these service delivery areas that actually provide services for our people. Now, this was the reason why the framers of our law decided to create businesses for government. What I've seen over time, I think the government businesses are being mismanaged in terms of these state-owned enterprises that's supposed to be contributing money to the national budget, and those monies supposed to go towards some of these areas, the healthcare and other areas or so. We need to start asking, why aren't LPRC declaring dividend at the end of the year to say, this is the amount of money we have? Why isn't MPA? Why isn't there people then declaring a dividend to say, okay, we gave this portion of this money to the government of Liberia so that they can be able to invest into these basic services? The reason is that, and for me, I've worked around the agencies and stuff for a very long time. There are a lot of issues, that Moses raised one of them the last time in our chat room. The overcrowdedness of these places also. And this is one of my issues with the Ministry of Labor. If we don't start putting laws in place in the next 5 or 10 years, these entities that were created as a business for the government will only be there to pay salaries. Because whenever new government comes, they push aside other employees who they meet there, they bring their people as directors and give them pay salary. Now, under the law, you can put them into a different post, but you cannot change the man's salary. Yeah. So take, for example, Edwin today is managing director for company X. And then I bring 50 people, maybe someone from the executive mansion, someone get a relative. I start paying them $6,000 each. That's almost a lifetime strain on our corporation. So instead of us taking that money, which is maybe about $300,000 to $400,000 a year, to say, okay, let's give it to government, we're taking it to pay political cronies who basically doing nothing. So the Ministry of Labor now has to put a system in place to say, look, when they appoint you as Edwin Fambule, it means you go in there to work with the people who you meet there, not to come and cry the place. But when you go to most of these public institutions that were created actually as a business arm for government, it's over bloated. They just bring people, they just pay them. So we're not taking money from those sectors to put it into the basic services. At the end of the day, there's a street on our national budget.
I agree with you. Yeah, George.
I don't want to be carried away by speculation. I want to be carried away by facts. Mm-hmm. I think what is going on is that you will see that the first language that the spokesperson for the protesters said, things that we're all advocating for in the past, we've been neglected right now by the people who we are advocating, trying to say that those people now, there are people in power, so they sidelined them. Mm-hmm. That was political. It can't carry me. The next thing is the health sector. I see massive corruption, mismanagement. I see over the years, I started observing this thing from Madam Salif time coming. This is not one administration, it's perennial problem. And the JFK budget always going up, but it's never sufficient for JFK, and not even 50%. It's never sufficient for JFK. But JFK, almost half of the medical people there, they got share in pharmacies and drugstores right there. You go there, they say you are close to go buy. Until we can deal with that situation, government can say 100 million to JFK, it will be the same. That's the real challenge. If a president today, I will bring medical practitioners, including pharmacists and everybody from Cuba,
and what happened to the national
to can't take over that JFK. I'm not lying to you. Look, I don't want to agree that somebody will put a pregnant woman, in pain from Grand Crew in ambulance being in the Monrovia.
Are you saying it's an exaggeration?
Over exaggeration. That person may not even make it to come here on that road.
There's a referral hospital in Maryland.
So while it is true that he's trying to underscore the need for support for them to be recognized, support, we also know the challenges there. We ask the government to step in. Whatever challenges they have, because they said they had not been working for how many years, since 2024, I think he said that in his statement, let them settle their employment issues to try to ease down some of this pressure. It's true, our health sector got challenged, but the health sector is very corrupt.
Okay, let's hear from Prince Kripla on this one. Prince, what's your take on it?
So, Sobo, you see, for me, I think it's disappointing for us to always want to point to the past. It is disappointing. We should have it squarely and blame the current stewards of the affairs of the country. President Bouaka is the current president of the country. The Unity Party is in charge of the country. All these problems existed before, and they saw them and said they were going to solve them. That's why they called the rescued. To rescue means they were coming to solve those problems, compound complex problems that Liberia was confronted with under President Weah and presidents before. In fact, they painted a picture that those problems were no problems. They could be solved in a thin air. So it beat my imagination that we will be trying to find a way to save the administration. The strong and factual thing that is happening is that the government is misplacing her priority. Let me give you an example, Sober. Do we need a president that will pay for a bulletproof vehicle? Is the Liberian president on a threat so much so that they need $2.5 million to buy a bulletproof vehicle in the midst of the complex social economic problems our people are confronted with? Absolutely no. But because the government is about, certifying political cronies, people who supported President Boubacar to become president. That's what the whole government is all about. That's why there's no sufficient resources to address the social issues that are confronting our people. Had the president taken the $2.5 million, they would have bought sufficient equipment to, equip our health facilities. They're spending $10 million to build what you call Peace Hub in Lofa, according to the president. Do we really need that? Is that the priority of the country at the moment? Is that the rescue that we came to rescue? The president is flying private jet. They said yesterday, private jet was, wasteful. It was wasteful spending for the president to fly private jet to go abroad. Now, Soba, let me make the disclaimer and let me send this caveat before it come out. I know the other defenders will say, but NCDC did it and your government did it before. But meanwhile, the people did not.
CDC was your government. Quickly, I didn't get it clear. CDC was your government. No, let me say answer. Quickly, was CDC your government?
You gotta give
No, stop. I'm asking.
You are not given the permission.
I'm asking out of curiosity.
No, but you can't just jump in the metro to ask a question. You gotta ask for permission.
Okay, so I ask for your permission.
But not now. I question the answer.
So
go ahead.
Tawe, if you want to make the show a combative show where you not have
No. I got asking.
If you want it, but as several people, we have millions of Liberians listening to us. They want to get a sense of our argument. So to interrupt me,
no, I just wanted to know which background you mentioned about CDC. Are you a member of the CDC?
But here's the point. Here's the point.
The man speaking. Go ahead.
Here's the point. The point is that this government is insensitive to the plight of ordinary people. The government is about certifying the curiosity of those who supported President Boubacar to become president. It's not about the ordinary people. That is why they are not investing in these major social and economic projects. You remember the JFK, the dialysis, patients that go to seek a dialysis treatment. They were complaining recently of the machines all being, obsolete, damaged, destroyed. The government import a dime into it. That was President Weah equipped that facility. But today the facility is down.
So Prince, I think you make a point. Prince, you make a point.
Interested in those things that benefit.
You made a point, Prince. We have to transition quickly, and we have to transition. I don't know. We got just one topic. We got little time, but maybe we can just open the lines for a few minutes.
Yeah, but you need a caution.
460-793. Again, 0778-460-793, or better still 0555-765-842. Again, 0555-765-842, 0555-765-842, or the alternative line 0776-540-987. Again, 0776-540-987. We have one of our topics that we can exhaust this one. Let's just open the lines quickly. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793, or 0555-765-842. Again, 0555-765-842, or the alternative line 0776-540-987. That's the numbers to call and to alive. Now, gentlemen, let's exhaust this topic quickly. while we await calls, because I don't want us to keep this until next week. Gentlemen, we see what appears to be a duplication of functions. That's becoming a daily activities now in this government. You see that government officials. I know I will take this call. You see government officials. Some, in fact, instead of trying to do their work, it seems that calls are coming. Wow, I don't know. Let's take this call up quickly. Good evening.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yes, sir. Okay.
I am calling from District 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to answer to this man here, Lieutenant Maggie. Let me tell you something. Lieutenant Maggie gave them 6 years, and they see the Nigerian people. Let the just keep their more close. Since he didn't able to go back to his own country, he want man to give them money. The people voting will not take that voice. Somebody else can come and tell, will listen to them.
Okay.
But not them. They feed the country. It's nowhere they will fall.
Okay. Many thanks. I think it's our call on the line quickly. Good evening.
David Koti, my name.
Yes, Mr. Koti, let's hear from you.
I noticed that you really like the other new guy in the black.
Yeah.
Good
observation.
You give me the mail all the time.
You say I like this guy. You know why you want to sound political here? We give you opportunity to call. Why can't you make a point?
All right, I'll make my point. Thank you for all of the topics. They're all fun, but let me just say this quickly. There will be no political revisionism after 2029. What I'm simply saying is that I've heard from some quarters that the project is too expensive, will not be completed, and the new government will complete it. No other.
Hello?
So nobody going to come to steal any credit here. And the bad thing about this government, this project, the only bad thing about it is that it will prevent the opposition even further.
Yeah, Mr. Kuti,
So these are major, these are great projects, and it will be completed.
Okay, your lines are breaking. Dave, 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or better still, 0555-765-842. Again, 0555-765-842. Okay, gentlemen.
For sure.
We got 9 minutes. Let's try to discuss the before go. We see that officials are taking on the airwaves to make clarities and come in defense of, especially right after the president sworn. Dave and the rest of the rest of the panelists, do you think that's the way to go? Let's see what we can get that video quickly. That video that has to do with the managing director of the LWSC when he took on one of the local daily, and at the end of the day, he was not able to really defend the point.
They don't have time to play video.
Is this? Yes, go ahead quickly. Go ahead, briefly.
Bring alternative data.
No, we need. Hold on, sir.
This is from Ministry of Labor, for example.
Okay, hey, what am I talking about?
That's from Ministry of Labor.
So this one is total number of Liberian employees in the private sector between the periods 2023, 2024, and 2025.
You see 2025 at the end.
Yeah, I see total new jobs created during the period January to June 2025. 5,599. So this is. So is there no available data for the total 70,000 plus jobs from the Ministry of Labor?
There is. Now again, right?
Where is
the World Development Index has been tracking job in this country, job creation, short, medium term, long term job since 2005.
Okay.
Since 2005, the data is there, and on the average, oh, you saw it? Yeah. You disagree with him?
No, but then, okay, so it says
It says 2023, 75,288 jobs were created. 2022, 104,156. 2021, 76,872.
The 2025
No, in there, I'm saying 2025.
Maybe the printer left it off.
So
What
you
is that?
you never brought CDC. It's that you are jetting about CDC. You can't bring something that helps CDC.
No, it starts from 2025.
Yeah,
no.
In that video, gentlemen, no, and this is my disappointment that if an issue occurred, I think the government has spokesmen, spokeswomen who are paid for that purpose. If they are going to studio to defend a particular government policy, they'll go well prepared. But you outside of the government information machinery to go to studio and at the end of the day to say what are meant to bring, unfortunately, I left it. The issue of duplication of functions. I want to discuss this. I saw that in the previous administration, and that's happening again.
The usurpation of function is not unique to the Unity Party government, as you just said. The last government it happened. Almost like people don't know their temper references, that you responsible for this. You're supposed to talk for the government. You're supposed to run the water, make sure water runs in our homes, and the people who are close. I mean, the people, yeah, sorry for that. But Pupu is Pupu, my man. There's nothing you can do about it.
Go ahead.
I know.
Don't be doing
So sometimes when you try to look back, then somebody say you shouldn't historicize this situation. We got to make reference to the past. We often say that you use the old mat to plant the new mat. So we always have to look back what happened. It's not unique to the government. That doesn't mean that it's correct. Not because it's happening in the CDC government or the previous Unity Party government should happen now. It's wrong. And besides that, when they're doing all they're talking, they don't coordinate them. Because if someone says something different today, David speaking on the same topic will say different thing. A family will say different thing. Canada will say different thing. Even if they want to talk together, everybody want to be the spokesperson of the government. Let them coordinate, they are talking.
Okay. Let's hear from you, George, quickly.
The managing director of Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation going to speak on the president's sonar should be speaking from the point of his strength about his entity, to try to interpret what the president said. If the Minister of Finance is going to speak on the president's sonar,
like he did recently,
he should be speaking to the area, data given to from his area, this and that. The labor minister will go through that. That happens. I like to follow CNN, American. So when the president makes certain policy pronouncements, he goes from state to sell them, or some top officials go and sell those things too. They are good, but if you go where you are not strong in wanting to jabs into areas where you are not strong, you embarrass the entire government. That's why I see whatever.
Okay, Dave, let's hear from you, Moses, on this.
Look, I agree with Mr. Kennedy, and I also agree with my brother Target. Look, like you said earlier, Slobo, what is killing our country is political patronage. When people are put into government, are recruited not on the basis of competence, but because of party loyalty. Oh, he's one of us. We use this place to campaign. That's what happened. And like Mr. Kennedy said, you saw how idiotic Mo Ali appeared in our studio. It was shameful. It was embarrassing. That's not a terrain. Liberia has a minister of labor. Allow the man to do his job, Mo Ali. Your job is to make sure that we have water running in the state of Monrovia. Liberia has a minister of information. If you do not know your term of reference, your job description, then try to seek an audience with the office of the president. so they can help you understand what your job duties and responsibilities are. Mo Ali is fond of making policy statements, is fond of role conflict, is fond of meddling into almost everything that has to do with policy issues in our country. Whenever something comes up, the Minister of Information is never given the opportunity to speak. Mo will take to the airwaves. He's granting news interviews here and there. Yet the president says nothing.
Okay.
Look, if you have a Minister of Information, I will not
we'll have somebody already about to speak.
So for me, we need to look at it from the context in which he was speaking, right? And like we say, it's not
you think that was his area?
I'm coming up. Hey, you asked me a
Yeah,
question.
but everything is going to defend it.
But that's my right. That's my opinion.
No, that's totally unfair.
No.
You're a lawyer. We expect you to defend the right thing.
If I came here, if
you can't defend everything,
if I'm here to be able to agree with what you say, then there's no need for me to be here.
No, that's not an issue. That's not an issue.
But let me talk now, Chief.
Go ahead.
I will speak from Let me speak from the context in which he speaks. And you see, let's be fair here. People are in position based on political affiliations, like how they call it, Moses Redley said. Now, Mo Ali, before going to the government, he was a campaign spokesman for the Unity Party, right?
Those days are gone.
I'm coming. He's still wearing a political jacket.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Bossman, give me a chance.
No, you can't say that.
No, I'm coming.
The man is in government.
He's in government.
He's not campaigning anymore.
He's still a politician.
He's not campaigning anymore.
Bossman.
And that's the reason why you saw how he was disgraced.
No, give me time. Let me lay my premise. So, let me say, hey, Chief. Let me say that, right? Let me say it right now. The mistake he made, I think, if there's a statement coming from the Unity Party angle, it should be the Unity Party chairman speaking on it, or so forth. But sometimes the guys get, overzealous with the positions they hold in government. They believe that they can defend the government itself and defend their party based on a statement. Even in the CDC, it happens. Even as we speak now, CDC Janga Ko went and made a statement based on what the Sona say. There are other people who are also speaking from the same CDC platform. So what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to back it. No, I'm not trying to back the idea. I'm saying this is the trend of the politics in our country, which we need to work on. First of all, if the ombudsman was working, because the ombudsman says that once you hold in position in government, you cannot be actively involved in political parties. But what I have seen, all of these guys who were into the campaign, the Secretary General, the news chairman, they have positions in government, and they're still keeping those positions from the political parties, which of course is wrong.
So where is the rule of law? Okay, now let's hear from you, Crippler, on this one.
So, Saba, lies is difficult to defend. This is not a more elite thing, right? This is not about who you bring to defend the government. It's about defending lies. The president lied many times in his State of the Nation address. And when the president lied, the public outcry gets louder. When the public outcry gets louder, politicians who brought the president to power, like Mo Ali, then who fought hard to get the president to power, think that it's going to take away their potential win tomorrow. They will have to come and put a cook lie that will cover the president, and there where they get it wrong. They didn't do any good job for the government, and whether you brought the Ministry of Labor to come and defend that lie, it's not going to work, because that was lie that the president told. Period. See what Mo took over there. What else could have the Minister of Labor said different from what Mo said that we want to put the blame on Mo Ali? Look, it's just square and plain. The United Party won election through deceit, lies, propaganda.
Okay, so we hold you there. I think time has come for us. Thank you, Embassy, for one.
Which is not going to work.
Yeah, okay. So, gentlemen, let me thank you for. You spoke, right?
Well, Prince Crippler, did you tell all lies? So when you ran for the
Prince, I just wanted to say to Prince, you're not going to win election by coming to bash and say things that probably just because he want to bash another institution. We're here to Peru to really face the fight. I can tell you for sure, you call election today, Lopo will beat you face down.
If I want
I don't want you to follow the trend that probably they told you say you can do the same thing that they did to you.
So you want to turn the whole debate to me now, or we want to do
everything you say, and everybody laughing.
We have to go.
I can be here.
We have to go. Time has called over. We are. I think we did extremely well tonight. Let's get prepared for going full week. Beginning next week, February will be going full week. That is from Mondays up to Friday. Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let me thank the producer as well. Listeners and viewers, we want to thank you too for being with us until Monday. We want to say thank you. Have a pleasant night. And Sober George is my name.